Design philosophy. There is a fundamental belief that philosophy rests on experience. Human beings who philosophize are in one particular context of experience. To give meaning to life in philosophizing, it is assumed that the human being has experience and knowledge of what will be the material of his reflection. Since philosophy always starts with a certain form of knowledge, from a certain field of experience. From the history of philosophy itself, philosophers always begin with what is considered to be knowledge, systems, ideas, or beliefs, and the various forms of knowledge and areas of experience available for philosophical reflection need to be selected and analyzed. Philosophy organizes and interprets ideas, beliefs, and values so that a system of thought is formed that is able to give direction to human life. The term and concept of philosophy is an ancient Greek creation starting from the 6th century BC. Seen from the history of the use of the term philosophy shows a distinctive character. Philosophy is a revolutionary attempt to replace mythological systems of explanation with rational systems of explanation. A collection of philosophical figures such as Thales, Anaximander, Heraclitus, Parmenides, Empedocles, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle are important milestones in the history of rational thought. Early philosophers practiced philosophy as a rational explanation of the problems they found in everyday experience. Rational questions and answers were the first step in the process of beginning research and observation, defining irrational myths and getting used to begin explanations with empirical and reasonable evidence. There are three characteristics that characterize the quality of philosophical knowledge or indicate that a knowledge is distinctively philosophical. First, the analytical tool of philosophy is reason. Philosophical analysis is done with pure reasoning, fantastic and sensory impressions useful in the early stages of getting to know the real world. Reason breaks through and becomes rational analysis. 1. Reason avoids practical purposes, the chaos of instincts, but directly dabbles with objects. 2. The nature of the philosophical method is rational. The method of rationality in philosophy is multiplexed, that is, inductive or deductive methods. 3. The purpose of philosophy is not to be practical. Philosophy seeks truth and knowledge. Philosophy has a purely theoretical or contemplative purpose. Philosophy is free in the sense that it does not want to be colonized by pragmatism and other ideologies. From the three designs mentioned above, it can be seen that philosophy has distinctive properties, namely radical thinking, continuing to seek truth, thinking rationally, while maintaining clarity, and finally to get the true principle in every reality. Thus, it can be said that the design of philosophy is scientific. Thinking philosophy is science, because scientific thinking is the hallmark of science. Philosophy of nature. It is so called because their object of study is directed to physical objects in the form of nature according to their own hypothetical hypothesis. Thales, 625–546 BC. It was pioneered by Thales, who speculated on the nature of natural events. Thales believed that everything in the world came from water. Liquid water, that is, as a tree and the main ingredient of everything. All things occur from water and will return to water as the beginning of its occurrence. Anaximander, 585–528 BC. Assuming that the origin of all events of the universe is from one and infinity, that is air. Heraclitus, 540–480 BC. Assume the origin of this mess to natural events of fire, because fire is more than water and easily people can see is nature that is easy to move and change appearance. Parmenides, 540 BC. Argued that all the motion that occurs in this world is just a trick of the five senses, all fixed and static. Empedocles, 490–430 BC. Argued the origin of the universe, with him speculating that all the previous elements that are the basis of the universe, namely air, fire, water and soil, were the four elements, have properties and dispositions that are in accordance with the circumstances, namely cold, hot and dry. Social and cultural philosophy. Socrates, 470 BC. The Greek philosopher built the foundation of two realms of thought, macroatomism and microatomism, and was followed by his disciple Plato. Plato, 427 to 347 BC. King of philosophy idealism, because the philosophy put forward concerns the nature of the universe, morality, education, state and society. Plato's teaching is universal idealism, then identified with Platonism, which is generally a socio-cultural movement of Eastern people. Aristotle, 384 to 322 BC. Spreading the wings of thought line orbit individual society individually without disturbing other individuals. Naturalism became the basic concept of social and cultural thinkers of the West. From the concepts that have been presented, both natural philosophy and social and cultural philosophy, is there a scientific objective answer that is the basic material of human movement throughout life until now?